Ladies and gentlemen, the cop that put Elijah McClain in a chokehold, he's back on the job. Yes, he is back on the job and he's getting $200,000 in back pay. It's just like Betty Shelby, isn't it? Kill a person, go back to work. So, Colorado cop who put Elijah McClain in a chokehold is back on the job and getting over $200,000 in back pay. The Aurora Police Department reiterating one of the officers involved in the arrest of Elijah McClain is back on its force. After a 2 year suspension without pay, the officer will not only be restored to the suburban Denver department, but also receive $200,000 in back pay. The city officials announced that the jury found him not guilty of manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. Officer Nathan Woodyard will be permitted to serve and protect despite the deadly results of 2019 interaction with McClain. Yeah, well, this is how the demonic system works. So let's go on. Woodyard and two other officers were charged in relation to McLean's death, resulting in his suspension without pay. The Aurora City Charter indicates that all officers found facing felony charges must be suspended without pay until the completion of the trial. It also notes that if the officer is acquitted, as in the case of Woodyard, they must be allowed to come back to the Colorado City Police Department. I tell you what, putting Elijah McClain in a chokehold, I would never want this cop to show up for anything. I wouldn't. I would not want him to show up. So during a highly publicized 2 week criminal trial, it was asserted that the officer's use of a chokehold and excessive force, as highlighted by the local coroner's office, played a crucial role in Elijah McClain's death. The coroner report suggested that when combined with administration of a potentially lethal dose of ketamine by an emergency response team, these factors contributed to the tragic demise of the 23-year-old. So, Woodyard is the first to approach Elijah McClain on August 24th, 2019, after receiving a call that he was acting suspicious. Okay, so even if he was, how is that a death sentence? He's walking home unarmed from a convenience store. I don't see how, no matter what he was acting like, I don't see how that warranted somebody to be put to death. So, anyway, he was just walking home from a convenience store. Within seconds of engaging with McClain, he got into a physical altercation with the police. No, the police started that altercation with him, resulting in him being placed in a chokehold at least twice and vomiting in his mask before telling the police he could not breathe. Following the forceful detention, paramedics came on the scene and gave him 500 milligrams of ketamine, enough for a man that weighed 200 pounds. McClain weighed 143. This sent him into cardiac arrest and he died 3 days later. So the jury deliberated for 2 days and came back with a not guilty verdict. You got to understand, they got all of these courts around the country rigged up against us, every single one. So he chose to return back to the force after his acquittal. And I said that in the video. when he was acquitted. I said, well, he's free to go back and work again as a cop. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's doing the Betty Shelby thing. So he's no longer suspended without pay. Following his acquittal on November 6th, he has elected to reiterate that with so he's going to just continue on working for Aurora PD. That's all. So they're saying he's on restricted duty, not in uniform, no public contact, no enforcement actions, pending next step of him just coming to the police force. They're going to put him back on the streets, y'all. Make no mistake about it. They putting his chokehold having ass back on the street. So anyway, he will also receive $212,546, according to the announcement on Tuesday, November 28th, after his salary was suspended during his leave from APD. Now he will start processing into the force, updating and training. So he's going through all of that again. Any member of the civil service who has been extended on an extended absence is subjected to be reintegrated back into the department. So So the length of the reintegration period varies depending on employees, the length of their extended absence, and any other circumstances that may arise before or during that process. So they said he would need to go through this for a period of time. And after going through his classes and training workshops, the police chief gives the final word on what division or force he will be assigned to. He's going back on the street, y'all. They're putting him back on the street. You can best believe it. Okay. So, the medical professionals, Jeremy Cooper, 49, and Peter Sachonek, 51, has been charged with manslaughter, assault, and other counts. Each pled not guilty. And, it's a chance they'll get to walk. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.